All right, we're back in the locker room with more of Don Rebel from MSA Sports. We're going to be talking Whitfield basketball as it is on the horizon next week. Don, first of all, let's start with teams that maybe we need to be looking out for. Let's take it from Quad A all the way down.
Look, I got my little cheat sheet here.
Yeah, you need a cheat sheet. I mean,
we haven't officially changed seasons yet, so my mentality
and I understand that. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it does start. It does start next week.
There will be several teams that are going to be affected by football teams that are still alive.
Still playing, yeah.
As a matter of fact, this year the state playoffs have been moved back. I think the finals are mid-December, December 17th up at Hershey. So, and for a lot of teams, section play in basketball begins December 12th. So if you have a team that's going the distance in football with key members on your basketball team,
right.
A lot of basketball coaches are not happy how football season continues to expand. Well, basketball season, they start that earlier. And coaches have said in the past, I remember Corey Gadsden last year, the basketball coach at McKeesport, Tigers went all the way, won the state football championship. And a lot of his key players in basketball, which they were expected to be number one in Class Quad A, he had to wait. And really, he said it probably wasn't until late January until not only these kids, got rested from football, got acclimated to what they were doing basketball, but it went into the whole explanation. He used different muscles and everything, and he said they really weren't in basketball shape till mid to late January, and it may have hurt his team's chances of winning a basketball championship. So I know there's a lot of basketball coaches that aren't overly thrilled. They're not rooting against football,
they
but
probably don't want them to be lifting either.
That's right, exactly.
See, I know because I had problems when I flipped the switch from football to basketball. I kept taking blocking, charging fouls all the time. I was a very foulish guy.
Yeah, but you always had trouble taking charging and blocking fouls.
Okay, that's
all right. Come on. What are you, basketball? What do you think you are?
Hey, man, I played.
Connie Hawkins?
The Hawk. One hand.
The four teams that come to mind, of football teams that are still playing, that basketball teams are going to be ranked probably in the top 5, if not the top 2 of their classifications. Upper St. Clair in Class Quad A is one of them. Thomas Jefferson, Dom DeSico, you mentioned, he's a pretty good basketball player.
Too, yeah.
His father's the head coach of the Jaguars. Yeah. They're going to be one of the elite teams in Class AAA. Clareton is probably the team to beat in Class A. And then, of course, with Terrell Pryor, Jeanette, Mr. Athlete, do it all on the football field, do it all in basketball. Jeanette's going to probably be ranked, if not 1, then 2 in Class AA. So those are things to watch. I mean, it may be a slow start for some of these teams because of the success of their football teams.
Who's the kid at Beaver Falls, the one that hit the winner?
Cheater.
Whatever happened to Lance Cheater? Because I know he's a football player and a basketball player.
Oh, Lance, I think. Oh boy, I don't remember the school, but I think he went with football. And I want to say it was a MAC school, and I might be wrong, and I apologize, but I think he went football over basketball. Terrell Pryor's got a decision to make, another outstanding player. James Baldwin from Aliquippa, he's a junior, very good football player, but he's a heck of a basketball player too. I guess it's a good problem to have.
Not too bad.
When you're not only getting Division I looks in football, but also in basketball. Anytime you can get interest in 2 sports, it's a pretty good issue, and I know both of you guys wrestled with that.
Yeah, right.
Never a problem.
I got cut from the basketball team.
Twice?
No, just once. I went out my freshman year.
Bad your freshman year.
I went out once and I got cut, and the only reason you made it is because you went to a school that had a graduating class of 83 and 68 of them were girls.
Excuse me. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact,
did you hear the fra?
As a matter of fact, I did get cut my freshman year.
Okay,
those girls were tough.
So who's the team to beat in Quad A, do you think?
Quad A, Bethel Park has a lot of returning players. They were mostly juniors last year. They went deep, I think, semifinals. They were knocked out. So Bethel Park will probably be our number 1 team. Mount Lebanon has some returning players. They won the WPL championship in Quad A a year ago. Devlin, the big kid, the big tight end for the football team. He's a heck of a basketball player, too.
Where's he going to school? Did he commit early?
Yeah, he did. And I want to say it was Ivy League school or something. He's a pretty smart kid, too.
Yeah, he's a pretty bright kid, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Devlin.
That's right. Don't worry about it.
Villanova.
What about Herb
Somewhere
Pope?
out east.
What's
Herb
happening with
Pope,
him?
he's going to New Mexico State.
So
That was a bit of a surprise because he was heavily recruited. I think 2 years ago when he was a sophomore, he said he was going to come here to Pittsburgh, but then changed his mind. Was looking at other offers. They weren't even sure he was going to come back and play at Aliquippa this year, his senior year, but he'll be playing for the Quips, which makes them one of the top 2 teams in Class AA. But last week he decided New Mexico State was the way to go. Los Lobos.
We played them. They used to be a Missouri Valley Conference school when I
What
was
a bus
going
trip
through.
that must have been.
It was a long one. AAA, TJ looking good?
TJ's looking good. Their team that they'll be playing in the football championship, Blackhawks, another team to watch, and a team that has always been a good team in Class Quad A, Chartiers Valley. Timmy McConnell's Colts. They dropped from Quad A to AAA.
Oh, they did.
So they are going to be one of the teams to beat in AAA.
Ooh.
Moon, which has been dominant in AAA last few years, they're up in Quad A now. So those two have sort of switched places.
Wow. Now, who are some of the big players we got to watch for?
Well, you mentioned Herb Pope going to New Mexico State. Here's an interesting Steve Swick. Remember him, big kid from Elizabeth Forward.
Right.
The Warriors, I think, only had 1 loss in the regular season. They were the team to beat last year in AAA playoffs. Well, round 1, he hurts his foot. He's done. They lose their very next contest. It's a foot injury that still has him on the shelf. He'll be ready to play next week. However, he's still not 100%. He'll be going to Akron on a Division I scholarship, but that's going to be interesting to see how his senior year is affected by an injury that occurred last February in the playoffs with the foot injury. The 2 players from Shenley, they're outstanding. Nobody's going to touch them in the City League. DeJuan Blair's coming here to the University of Pittsburgh. DJ Kennedy still hasn't decided where he's going to go. And Jawan Alston from Albert Gallatin. Colonials don't get a lot of play around these parts, but Albert Gallatin, a team to watch. He'll be playing his college basketball at Buffalo.
All right.
Buffalo.
Why would you
He'll learn what real chicken wings are all about.
Is that D1?
That is D1 MAC now. University of Buffalo's on the MAC.
I'm ready for a lot of
Go
bus
figures.
rides.
That's right.
Well, Don,
cold bus rides.
Thanks so much for joining us. As always, great insight. So we got your predictions. Upper St. Clair, TJ.
Predictions is a harsh term here again.
Oh, come on.
I'm trying to be like Switzerland here.
Have some backbone.
What backbone?
Bring out the syrup for the waffles.
Don't do the wolf waffle.
Excuse me.
Take a pick.
St. Clair, TJ, Greensburg Central, Rochester.
All right. We're going to find out if you were right or
erase the
wrong.
tape if I'm wrong.
We'll be back. We're going to take a break. Don Rebel, MSA Sports. Back after this.